Hello everyone, this is Orlando from A Collector's Dream, and today I'm going to continue my series on the 1888 N162 Goodwin Champion set, and I'm documenting my set going, it's a set of 50 cards, and I'm showing probably 5, 6 at a time, so it takes me like maybe 10 videos. So this is, I think it's video number 5, and what I'm doing is I'm going through the whole set and I'm going right down the checklist. And the checklist is in the back of the cards. All the cards are the same on the back. So we've done all the baseball players already. I've done all the bicyclists, the billiards, and now we're moving on to the broad swordsman, which is Duncan Ross. So let's share Duncan Ross. This is Duncan Ross. And Duncan Ross, it says he was a swordsman, and he did a lot of shows and basically like circus back in the day, where he did a lot of things with the swords, and he was very famous for that. But really he's famous for a wrestler, and he was one of the top wrestlers back in the day. And he competed to try to win the American Heavyweight Championship in 1881, but he lost to Edwin Bibby. And it says that he lost to the catch-as-you-can style wrestling champion, Edwin Bibby. And he was a Scottish guy, and he also did end up winning the Heavyweight Championship for wrestling eventually. And he was also the American World Greco-Roman Champion, the American and World Mixed Style Champion, and the American Collar and Elbow Champion. So, he was a pretty good wrestler, and he appears on a few cards. For example, he'll appear on the Allen and Ginter card as a all-around athlete, which is really what he was. So let's take a good look at Duncan Ross. And this is one of the more beautiful cards in the set. Just the artwork on those on the card itself. I mean, the pink, talk about the Pepto-Bismol pants there. But I mean, just a beautiful, beautiful card. And you can see they came in the Old Judge Gypsy Queen cigarettes. Look at the little shoes that he's got in there. And he's got the swords. You can see he was a strong guy. Look at the muscles on the guy. So you can see he's a pretty strong guy. Give you another good look at it here. So that's the Duncan C. Ross. And it says he's a broad swordsman. You can see that he's a broad swordsman. It's just a beautiful card. Like all of the Goodwin Champion cards, the artwork on these is just incredible. I mean, look at the background on that. Just even the wall has designs on it. Cool card. And again, very low pop on this. I think the highest graded is a 6 or a 5 or a 6. In many of these cards, those are the highest graded. So that's the Duncan Ross. So moving on to the next one on the list. And these are kind of miscellaneous guys, you see. As you can see, what I'm going to show is the Duncan Ross, the chess guys, and then the Beecher. That'll be the 5 people I'll show today. So let's move on to the chess guys. And I know that there's a few people that like chess players. Mangini does. So we'll show the first chess guy, and that's the Mackenzie. In a 5. And this is George Henry Mackenzie. And he was a chess player. He's very well educated guy, like most of those guys were. He studied in France and in Prussia back in the days, and he was commissioned to do like a goodwill type trip and stuff. So he traveled all over the world, and from India to England and all that. And eventually, he was in the army, and that's why he's the captain. And he retired from the Army. So he traveled all these places because he was kind of like a captain in the Army or whatever. But anyway, during the day, he became a chess. During his travels, he became a chess master. And he won a championship against Anderson, and mainly he was a great player, but he really wasn't one of the best players during that era. But he was the German champion, and he was a champion of other places and stuff like that. But it didn't get to be the world champion. I'll show you who the world champions were. But Mackenzie, again, was still a great player. And just a kind of a sad note is that Captain Mackenzie committed suicide by an overdose of morphine, which he had requested for pain, because he had, I guess he had tuberculosis, so he requested that, and then he took an overdose. But that is a beautiful card of Captain Mackenzie. Give you a good look at Captain Mackenzie. He's got like the checkerboard background. Look at the hair and the suit. There it is, Captain Mackenzie chess. You see, just a real cool card with the background with the chessboard on the background. Again, another pretty rare card. I think highest graded is maybe this is in a 5 or a 6. I'm not too sure anymore, but I know there's no high grades of these at all. So that's the first two on the list. So the next one on the list is one of the key cards. And one of the key cards in the entire set, because what they, when you look at the set of the cards, of all of the cards from the Goodwin Champions, what you'll see is that there's always a big name guy that was super, big, well known back in the day. Usually, since it was back in 1888, like in football, you have, the first football card ever, and then for baseball, you have, Cap Anson and King Kelly, and, for the jockeys, you have Isaac Murphy, who still has the Isaac Murphy Award, and all that. But when it comes down to chess, it's Steinitz. Steinitz is really who they say is the kind of the father of chess, if you call him that. And he was the champion. This is the best guy. He wrote the book on chess. He is known to be really the guy. When you talk about, the Babe Ruth of chess is Steinitz. So a little bit about Wilhelm Steinitz. He's Austrian, and later he moved to America. And from 1886 to 1894, he was the first world chess champion. And he was also a highly influential writer and chess theoretician. He wrote theories and stuff like that. I'm just kind of reading a few notes off of my thing here. So the guy became really the one that actually, like I said, wrote the book. Steinitz was unbeaten in match play for 32 years. And I think that's the big thing. He was like the Cal Ripken back in the day. From 1862 to 1894, he was unbeaten. And I mean, that just shows the dominance he had, back in those days. And this is the only card graded in a 7. I think the next highest is a 5. And I tracked this card down for many, many years when it was sold originally at an auction. And when it came back up for auction again, about 8 years later, I picked it up. And just so glad I have this card. I've been offered a lot of money for this thing from the chess people, because this is Steinitz. Steinich is big card. Like I said, the Babe Ruth of chess. And this is a beauty. So there he is. There, you know, that's Steinich with a big beard. And you can see Steinich chess. And that's one of the big cards in the set. As far as the chess players are, that is the most desirable chess player there is. So the card's beautiful. It's got a little bit of a print mark on there. You can see that. But from 1888, there's the only card graded in a 7. As far as I don't think there's any other chess guys. So that's William Steinich. And the next guy is the second best chess player of that era. And the only guy really to beat Steinich. And that's Johann Suckertort. Johannes Suckertort. And Suckertort was, and this one is in a 5. And if you remember earlier this year or late last year, I don't know when it was, I had this one. This was in a 4 SGC, and I had it sent it to PSA, and it came back a 5 because I had another one in a 5, and they're both. I think this one is nicer because it's a better well-centered. I didn't want to take a risk and have this one be lowered to a 4. I said, let me take a chance and see if the 4 will grade to a 5. So the 4 graded to a 5. So I'm thinking about sending this in, but I'll probably just keep that. Use one of these for trade bait. It's what I do with my doubles, and that's probably what I'm going to be doing. But I'm going to show that one. I guess I'll show this one too. Let me show this one. This one's a little bit better centered. So it's still a 5, and it may even be a 6. We'll see. So, but anyway, Suckertort was also the you know, he lost to Wilhelm in 1886, which was it was regarded as the first chess championship, and he was again defeated by Steinich in 1872. But this guy was the guy that really finally got to beat him, because he came out with really, he was kind of more of a wild guy, and he came out with the Suckertort opening. And the Suckertort opening is still taught today. And, you know, they used to just play with, you know, start with the pawn and move it up, right? The Suckertort was where he got the knight and did the knight and moved the knight over and started with that. That was the opening play. And people didn't do that back in the day. And I kind of threw a wrench into a thing. And, you know, at the end, you know, it was just one of those things that he was able to fool Steinich for a little bit. But after that, Steinich caught on and Steinich beat him. And in the 1886, let me give you a good look at that. This is one of the most beautiful cards in the set, in my opinion, because it actually shows them playing chess at the table that they would be playing. And in 1886 World Championship, that lasted from January 11th to March 29th. And after building a 4-1 lead, Suckertort wilted and lost 4 of the last 5 games and ended up losing to Steinich. That was like the match of the century between the two heavyweights. So I wanted to share that beautiful card of Suckertort. Just a beautiful artwork. And I'll give you another close-up look at this one. Take another good look at that. Playing chess. So I'll put that with this one too. Here's the other one. They're both 5s, but I think this one's a little bit better centered. So I'm gonna probably keep that one. Even though PSA is probably worth more. So that is, those are the first 4, and the 5th one on the list that I'll be showing, and the last one I'll be showing today is really I would say right now it's the best card in the entire set because it's finally been known and recognized. So the next one after Secretary is Beecher. Beecher, the captain of the Yale team. There he is. Beecher. That's the first football card ever made. The Beecher card. And I've done a whole video on Beecher. I'm not going to go ahead and do the whole Beecher talk again. But this one is in a 5, one of the highest graded examples. I think the highest graded is a 7 on the Beecher. It's a couple of those, but those are somewhere in someone's collection, just like my 5, which is probably not going to come out here. But anyway, just to talk a little bit about Beecher. Beecher was a college football player for the Yale Bulldogs. He was their quarterback, and really he was the captain of the team. He was the best player on the team. Give you a good look at the Beecher. He was the best player on the team, and again, he was the captain. He was a very, very smart guy. Again, he went to Yale back in the days, and he was just the most prominent quarterback of the day. He was the best, essentially, player back in the day. And this is an 1888 card. In 1886, he accounted for 33 touchdowns. So he scored 33 touchdowns. And then in 1887, he was named captain of the Yale team. And it says that one writer back in those days, Beecher was a prominent quarterback, and then it says that called by one writer as the school's greatest ever at that position. So they said that one source lists Beecher as the best player of the year, or the best player at that position back in the day. So they won the championship, the national championship, from 1884, 85, 86, and 87. They were the national championships, with Beecher leading the way. So this was the first football card ever. This is the Beecher. I had another Beecher, which was, the front is a lot nicer. It's owned by my friend right now. But this is my Beecher. I decided to keep the 5 and sell the 1.5 to my buddy. And that is my N162 Goodwin Champion Beecher. The first football card ever. Look at him with the hat. That's the uniform they wore. Check out the ball. The ball, like a round ball. Again, this is Beecher, captain of the Yale football team. And that is the first football card ever made. And that covers this video and the 5th part of my 1888 Goodwin Champion set. So I'll have another video coming probably tomorrow, but that covers the Duncan Ross, the Mackenzie, the Steinich, the Beecher, and the Secretary. The chess guys, and a couple other one-offs. So thanks for watching, guys. This is Orlando from Collector's Dream. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.